And this is getting deep. When these things happen, please don't get scared. They're supposed to happen. They are great. If you do get scared, remember you are in good company. The Buddha got scared. That's why he said, why should I be afraid of this bliss which has nothing to do with the world? I will not be afraid of that bliss. Actually, the Buddha to be, just before he became enlightened, said in the Mahasatchaka Sutta, number 36 of the Majjhima Nikaya, you will find fear. You know what that fear is? That fear is challenging your deep attachments. All fear is a fear of losing things we think we own. You're challenging the deeper attachments. I'm going to give a talk about this. This is that little area where the powerful insights are found in the deep stages of meditation. Those are the insights into the deep attachments which tie you to rebirth. As we let go more and more, no fear, incredible bliss, stillness, you're one-pointed, you go deeper and deeper inside. You're into time, present moment, into that silence. You're right in the middle of the body. The body has just disappeared, just like the television screen. You're into the mind. That's called jhanas. When you go into that nimitta, you start even going further in. The things start to disappear. Things which you thought you were are no longer there. You see anatta. Suffering is disappearing. You're seeing the end of suffering. Experiencing it temporarily, but at least getting a taste of freedom. That's what the Buddha called the Dhamma. Just like the ocean has one and the same taste, salt, so this Dhamma has one and the same taste, the taste of freedom. And you're experiencing these things. But when these things happen, you are in the presence of Nibbana. And what happens next, I will tell you later on. Thank you. Okay. That's the basic method of meditation. Sum it up again. Present moment awareness, silence, taking your meditation object, the breath, full awareness of the breath. Breath becomes beautiful. Get nimittas coming up. When nimittas come up, the breath has disappeared. Breath has done its job. Leave it alone. Then you get into deep meditation. You get into deep meditation, insights, they just flow. Any questions? Anyone has a question now? It's a good time after the talk to open it up for questions. We've got 10 or 15 minutes of question time. Remember that story I've told every time I come to KL about karma in the Karma Vibhanga Sutra in the Majjhima Nikaya. The Buddha said what you have to do in this life to get reborn wealthy in your next life. Why it is that some people are born poor, what they've done in their last life to become poor in this life. What you have to do to become healthy in the next life, why some people are born sickly. In particular, the Buddha said why some people are born stupid in the next life, while other people are born intelligent in the next life. And the Buddha said the karmic reason for intelligence in your next life is asking questions in this one. So many questions. Not just in the next life, just today. So if you've got a question there about what to do, please ask. No? Oh yeah? Say something about the nimitta. I'll actually talk in detail about the nimitta later on during this retreat. But what it actually is, I'll give you a taste. It is actually a reflection of your mind. This is the first time you see what this word citta really is. Because you're experiencing the citta. It's the mind, the citta sees itself. very difficult to explain, but this is a pure mental object, which is very rare. We hardly ever see a pure mental object. All there are experiences. We think we know the mind, but it's really just sight, sound, smells, taste or touches. Or they're echoes in the mind. Even our thoughts are of sight, sound, smells, taste, touches. It's not really pure mind. But when all of those 5 senses disappear, which is, in first jhana it's called vivichehi kamehi, being separated from the 5 senses. When those senses disappear, that's all you're left with, just mind. And that appears to people as the most beautiful light. It is not seen by the eye. The mind is experiencing this. But that's the only way you can perceive it. Perception, sanya, is very conditioned by memory. That's why in Thai, the word for memory is sometimes sanya, what in the Buddha call perception. Because whatever we describe it as, we use the categories of our previous experience. When I look at you, man, why do I say that perception? Because of all the other men I've seen. And you're similar. Sometimes these days you get it wrong though. I don't know if it's a man or a woman or what it is. But I assume. So perception actually gives it a name. And because the language of our perception is the world of the 5 senses, that pure mental experience is commonly interpreted as a light. But there's certain aspects of that experience which you will notice. It's a light, it's a colour, but it is unearthly, in the sense that you've never seen a colour quite like that before. If it's, say, a yellow, it's not like the yellow of those flowers in front of me. It's the most amazing, deep and rich yellow. And it's also a sense of power and beauty and energy. It's intense and rich. As a sign, it's a nimitta. There are many different types of nimittas. Some of them are just going all over the place. They're not stable. Some of them are just complicated. There may be visions of fields or palaces. That's not good enough. That shows the mind is not ready yet. It's too complicated. It's unstable. So this is why we have to work at the preliminary stages. So when a nimitta comes up, it is very simple. Just like a moon released from the clouds. And very brilliant. Shows we've got a lot of energy. And still. Which means we've done our job in letting go and allowing things to stop. When the nimittas come up to that stage, then you're right next to jhanas. Is that the question you asked? There'll be more about nimittas coming up soon. Yeah. Okay. I'm talking about the doer and the knower. This is one of the ways I describe meditation. The doer and the knower. To explain what those things are, the cause of you asking that question, what motivates you to think, the manager, the doer, the will, the chooser, the fault finder, that which is active of your mind, I call the doer. The passive part of the mind is the knower, just what receives the information. You just know in most machines, you've got what receives the information, the input side, and you've got the output side, what reacts to the information you receive. Of the mind, you've got the knower, which is consciousness, awareness. You've got the output, which is the doer, choice, will. What moves you is the doer. In meditation, what we're attempting to achieve is to calm down the doer, but keep the knower very alert. Sometimes, because doing and knowing are so close together, when some people meditate, when they calm the doer down, don't do anything, let go. They also let go of the knower as well. They fall asleep. That's because they let go of the knower and the doer. Now the thing is, you have to separate those two out in meditation. Let go of the doer. Allow it to stop. If you try and stop the doer, that's doing again. That's doing, letting go. It's not letting go of doing. There's a lot of difference between doing, letting go, and letting go of doing. Hopefully you understand that. If you try and stop the doer, it won't work. So you don't stop, you don't do anything. No doing. It stops by itself. You can't hold it. You've got to put it down. And it stops. Does that answer the question? See what happens when you get peaceful. Why? Did you make that peace? Or did you get out of the way and allow peace to come? The point is, it's you who disturb the mind. If you would only get out of the way, realize anatta, stop doing things, get to a state of emptiness, the whole world stops by itself. That is nature. We interfere. Any other questions? Going, gone. So I'm going to stop now, but I'm going to go somewhere. Please excuse me today because in the Malaysian Buddhist Cooperative, I think, that about a year ago, I think the last retreat, they asked me to support a project for trying to give some advice, some Buddhist advice about funerals, so that people understand exactly what to do at a funeral, and they don't waste so much money, they can overcome some of the superstition. They're launching their little booklet today. I think I've got it in my bag here, which is called Bidding Farewell to Life and Beneficial Last Rites. And so because I wrote forward to this, they're going to have a launch of this morning. So please excuse me as I go to this little Buddhist ceremony. I'll be back at 2:00. So this morning there won't be any interviews. And normally I don't like interviews on the first day because you've got nothing to report. You just started. So the interviews will start this afternoon. I think the time for the interviews is, what time is it? It's 3:30. Yeah, 3:30 the interviews will start. So again, I'll try and get back by 2:00, but if I'm a bit late, please keep the schedule. Remember that if this monk and that novice is gone, you've always got one monk looking after you. The monk who sits so still behind me. See if you can sit as still as the Buddha behind me, and then you'll have great meditation. Okay, so I'll see you this afternoon. Have a nice lunch. Please keep the rules. No talking. No whispering. That's still talking. Have a nice lunch. Have a rest afterwards if you need a rest. Take it easy. And just allow this whole process to develop. It's not up to you. You think you're good, you're bad. I've got to really try hard. I don't have to try hard. Sometimes it's like the simile of an aircraft. Sometimes when I go to overseas, I'll get on the aeroplane from Perth. It's like some people, they rush to the front of the plane, thinking they're going to get to Malaysia quicker. Some people, they laze at the back of the plane. And people say, you lazy, you're not going to get there anyway. Once you're on the eightfold path, once you're on Buddha air, You think you're making the effort or you're not making the effort. It's not up to you. It's the path makes the effort, not you. It just happens. Energy comes. Striving comes, but it's not you doing the striving. You're on the aircraft. Buddha Air flies the plane, not you. Okay, have a nice day.